You got three big names on the screen right here, and we're worried about all three of them to a certain extent, but how worried are we about Calvin Ridley's toe? How worried are we about Alvin Kamara's suspension that's incoming? And how concerned should you be about Cooper Kupp? We talked a lot about Cooper Kupp last night, but we need to discuss more because new updates have come out that he'll be out several weeks. We got to discuss all three of these monsters, as well as Najee Harris, as well as Jameson Williams, and a bunch of other players. The Fantasy Football Show, 8 p.m. edition, Monday through Friday edition, answering your super chats and phone calls and questions edition begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news
From
breaks.
the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Lots of news here, ladies and gentlemen, to discuss, and no other than Cooper Kupp. That is probably the most concerning piece of news. Deckard with the 199 hauler already, says Kupp and Kamara more than Ridley. Kupp and Kamara concern, yes, I would say that is accurate. And Marco dropping one saying, "What's up, bro? Been a minute. Keep killing it. Appreciate you, Marco Silva. Where have you been? The Silva brothers. We're always here." And now I don't see him here very often, so super glad to see you here. Cooper Kupp, the recent report was, this is the Ridley report. The Cooper Kupp report is somewhere around here. Is this it right here? There it is. Here it is. Cooper Kupp, this is from Adam Schefter, underwent an MRI on his hamstring, and while the team will be very cautious with him, one source said potentially could be back for scrimmages in a few weeks. Few meaning 3. That is not good news for a player, and I know you're going to say, Smitty, you're just hell-bent against Cooper Kupp, and you've been saying to avoid him this offseason anywhere near the top 5, and you're just digging your heels in. You see the first sign of an injury, and you go running. You better be against this guy, Calvin Ridley, who's got a toe injury right now, Smitty. You better be against Joe Burrow. You better be against every player that's injured if you're going to come at Cooper Kupp. The difference is a stark difference. The difference is very, very, very dramatically different. Cooper Kupp's 30 years old. Cooper Kupp is coming off a season-ending injury last season that kept him out about half the season, and he wasn't even healthy up until about, if he ever even was, a couple weeks ago, I imagine, because about a month or less ago, this guy said, hopefully they ramp me up. I'd like to get back to trying to get to full speed. He wasn't at full speed. He was still very much in the, I don't want to say middle to late stages of his rehab and recovery process, but he was by no means anywhere close to being 100% multiple weeks ago. And he comes out here, I believe, very, very much below 100% and goes out there, gets to work, which I don't know that he was ready to be out there. He looked sluggish out there. He looked like he was dragging a little bit. He didn't look quite as in shape as he has in the past. And that's fine because we're like 30, almost 40 days out, right? So that wouldn't really concern me too much. But he's 30 years old. And the fact that he got injured via what I believe to be a compensation injury from being out there doing too much too early, I don't know. At 30 years old, I'm just out. I'm out. The team is in shambles, in my opinion. I think Matthew Stafford, who the team kind of wanted to get rid of, and he just showed back up, and they were potentially looking to try and trade him. They wanted to get out of the Matthew Stafford business, but they didn't. And so you have a very uncertain quarterback situation. And even though I love Stetson Bennett, there isn't a lot of, in my opinion, quarterback security in this Rams offense in 2023. 30 years old, very ambiguous offense, very ambiguous quarterback situation. A young guy in Stetson Bennett I love, but he will be up and down, and there's no way Stetson Bennett, in my opinion, can force feed Cooper Kupp like Stafford did. This is not a team I expect to be anywhere close to being a division winner or even potentially in the mix for the division win. I think the Niners blow by them. I think the Seattle Seahawks also blow by them, and this is a two-headed monster race for the division win in the West. It'll probably be the Seahawks, in my opinion, but it's going to be very, very close between the Seahawks and the Niners. Much will depend on Brock Purdy and how good he can get this year coming back from his injury and situation from last year that I don't know he's fully over. We'll have to see and play that by ear. But for me, I'm staying clear of Cooper Kupp anywhere near top 5 overall value. Probably anywhere in the first round. Is this the fairy podcast, says Tommy. No, Tommy. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you here saying that Cooper Kupp is an absolute lock to be a top 5 pick? You can call in a minute, Tommy. I'd be glad to discuss it with you. But no, this is not your mom and pop podcast. This is not your mom and pop. This isn't for your grandma. This show is for somebody that is like ahead of the curve there, Tommy boy. Okay, this is not your cookie cutter show. This is not, let's just look at, okay, we'll put Kupp at 5 because that's where everybody else has them. We're going to go ahead and put CMC at running back 1. Tommy, I don't know if you know, but Bijan Robinson is the number 1 running back in 2023. And Tommy, this might blow your socks off, pal, but I'm taking Bijan Robinson over Christian McCaffrey 10 times out of 10. How does that serve you? I bet Tommy's blown away by that.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Now, Tommy, I don't know if Tommy was in favor of this topic, and maybe I read it wrong. If so, Tommy, I'll take a lap. But if I remember correctly, Tommy goes against most of what I say, if I remember correctly, which is fine. We need Tommies in the chat. But it always makes me laugh when someone thinks this is a crazy tale that I'm telling. You know, that Cooper Kupp, who's 30 years old, that suffered a season-ending injury that he never really recovered from even less than a month ago. This happened like mid-season. And even less than a month ago, he was not fully unleashed. He's like, I hope the trainers and the staff unlock me and let me try and work harder and get back. How dare you, Smitty? That's blasphemy. What is Cooper Kupp not being top 5? Tommy, the phone lines will be open in a minute. Unless you want to dial in right now, Tommy. Go ahead. Definitely go ahead. Tell me where I'm wrong. And you could have a different opinion, Tommy. Okay? But you didn't walk in here, Tommy, and say, I'm not too worried. I think I'm going to bank on him. Tommy, you came in as if my side was crazy. I didn't say your side was crazy, Tommy. I didn't say you can't have Cooper Kupp as your number 1 wide receiver. I wouldn't even make you take a lap, Tommy. Oh, Tommy's referring to CMC being the number 1 running back. Tommy, my take isn't crazy. Your take saying my take is crazy is the only crazy thing in the room right now. Because if you don't think Bijan Robinson could be the number 1 running back, maybe he's not your number 1 running back. Oh, and Tommy, have you seen my shirt? Have you seen my shirt, Tommy? Bijan running back 1, pal. Where's my other Bijan running back 1 shirt? I have it around here somewhere. It actually says running back 1 on it. I love when people's jaws drop to Bijan being running back 1. I know Tommy hasn't been here for a while because if I remember correctly, he is very much a hater of a lot of the content. I don't know why you watch, Tommy. But I feel like it's so funny when someone rolls in so late into the season and they don't get a chance to hear this over and over and over. You know when someone's been missing for an entire offseason. But Tommy, we appreciate you being back. And buckle up because you're gonna see some wild takes, I think, in your opinion, going forward. Back to this Cooper Kupp situation. I get where some of you might be landing on this. You might be like, let's wait and see. And I get that. And no one's taking laps. Unlike Tommy, I don't think your take's crazy if it's different than mine. I'm merely telling you my take. And my take is I won't touch Cooper Kupp anywhere in the first round. I won't draft him in the first round. Why Garrett Wilson? Why Bijan Robinson? Why? I don't think I'm ever even tested to go beyond that. I don't think I even have to go St. Brown over Cooper Kupp because guess what? Cooper Kupp is gone 10 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10, he's gone before I have to make some kind of weird decision. That's the whole point of this little conversation right here, Tommy boy, is that Cooper Kupp is either going to go probably 4, 3, 5, even with the doubt right now. 6. No one's letting him go past 7. And guess what? 7 times out of 10, I still have Bijan and Garrett Wilson available to me there. So Cooper Kupp's gone. I would say 6 times out of 10 before Bijan and Garrett Wilson, either one of them, are off the board. Runner Boy dropping a $5 hauler. Does the Kupp news make JJ and Chase even more valuable? Yeah, I mean, a little bit, but you could also say, though, that all the running back injuries, the fact that, we're looking at Alvin Kamara looking at a suspension. You got Kenneth Walker with the groin injury. You got J.K. Dobbins holding in. You've got a number of situations. JT now potentially up in the air for even playing in 2023, or where does he play, or does he get hurt because he's holding out? There are so many running backs in flux right now that kind of like washes that. Now running backs have some value, inflated value too, so it's kind of like a wash, you know what I mean? I don't know that anybody's any higher than they were. It's kind of just evens out. But yeah, so Cooper Kupp, total avoid for me in 2023 because his cost of entry will always be in round 1. It doesn't mean that I think he's 100% going to bust. There's no chance of him to have a great year. Maybe he starts off, sluggish and is an absolute machine, week 5 on. But he's 30 years old. And what I'm kind of sensing from Cooper Kupp right now is that staying healthy is going to be difficult. He's going to play well whenever he's out there, and then he's going to get hurt. It's going to be similar to the feel Christian McCaffrey had 2 and 3 years ago when it was like he's elite when he's on the field, but he keeps getting hurt. And Cooper Kupp, I think it's going to be more tied to being 30 years old. He's 30 years old, and he's coming back from an injury that he couldn't shake very quickly. This guy was still hampered over a couple weeks ago. And now he goes out there and has a compensation injury, in my opinion, in my educated guess, because he was not ready. And he was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing, that he couldn't do. That his body's like, what the hell are we doing? Let me activate the hamstring a little more to compensate for him not being able to have the explosion that he needs in his legs because of his rehab and not being where he needs to be. And 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, talking about how he wasn't up to par in terms of, being on the field and doing what he's doing. I'm staying away. And in Dynasty, I'm selling Cooper Kupp any chance I can. I'm going and getting these young wide receivers, these sophomore Moon Men wide receivers right here.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
These guys right here, these sophomores, not all of them. Like, I'm not trading Cooper Kupp for Pickens. I'm trying to get Pickens and something. I'm not trading him necessarily straight up for Watson, because Watson, you can get a whole lot more. But would I trade Cooper Kupp for Olave straight up? You better believe I will. Will I trade Cooper Kupp for Garrett Wilson straight up? You better believe I will. And I'd even trade for the somewhat older Calvin Ridley, who's still got a handful of years left, but he is not a spring chicken. But he's certainly got 2 or 3 years left where Kupp feels like he has maybe 0 to 1 years as a top 5 wide receiver. So, and the same thing goes for Dotson, the same thing for Pickens and Dotson. You're not necessarily trading for these guys straight up, but maybe you do some kind of cool quarterback upgrade or something like that, where you get into a Fields or a T-Law using a slightly lesser quarterback or a significantly lesser quarterback, and you trade, Cooper Kupp for the QB bump in Fields or T-Law or Burrow, and you get one of these guys back in compensation for the wide receiver loss. Stuff like that is where your boy is at in terms of his thinking. And we got Ian dropping a $5 hauler on the screen here. Ian says, hey, Smitty, what are your favorite spots to draft from this year, redraft? I feel like either top 3 or bottom 3. I have a similar take to you in a sense, but at the same time, Ian, I find myself a lot of the time getting Bijan at 6, 7, 8 now. It's almost like he dropped in the recent underdog drafts. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit, guys. And we draft every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Also, Future Smitty visited me again. I don't know if you guys know this, but Future Smitty paid me another visit. And that's going to wrap up today's show. Whoa, it's me.
Hey,
Smitty, it's me from the future. I'm calling you from 2024.
Whoa.
Hey,
I'm tripping out here.
Yeah, calm down. Hold on. I don't have much time. Listen to me. Okay, take the higher on Jahmyr Gibbs, 580 yards rushing. I'm telling you, underdog is the best place to play fantasy football in 2024, let alone back in 2023. And I'm telling you, buddy, I'm telling you right now, Jahmyr Gibbs, 580 rushing yards over.
Us.
And whatever you do, pal, on the Patrick Mahomes.
Bro. Mahomes what, bro? Bro? Buddy? Smitty? Me? Hey, pal? What's going on here? Higher, lower on season rushing lines and passing yards and passing touchdowns. Go do the higher lows. They're phenomenal. And we draft Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday on Underdog. The link is in my bio on Instagram. The link is also in the description of almost every video. Underdog will match up to $100 dollar for dollar on your first deposit. So use the link. Get that $100 dollar for dollar bonus match, baby. Or use code Smitty. Draft with me Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. Go prepare. Sign up now so you're not trying to do it last second. And go play a higher low. Jahmyr Gibbs, 580. I don't know how long that one's going to stay up there. Do I draft Mahomes or don't I? So I just want everybody to know that you got to sign up ahead of time and make sure you're ready to go. So hit that link. I just pinned it in the live chat. You guys want to draft with me on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday going forward. Do it live. This question right here, bottom three, top three. I'm going to say like really 3, 4, 5, and sometimes 6 are my favorite draft slots. Number 1, 6, you're right in the middle. So like in 7 and 5. So you don't have to wait very long for your pick. It's very consistent, right? So I like that a lot. But I definitely don't think you can't. I don't know. You could take Bijan at 2 or 3. I don't hate taking that draft slot and putting your balls on the table. But I think that if you're drafting with a bunch of grandmas, they won't know Bijan's the running back 1. They won't. Nobody will. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to come here second-guessing Scotties that are going to come in, or Tommies, no offense, Tommy, that are just going to be like, you can't do that. You can't say that. Bijan hasn't carried the football yet. Oh, okay. Should I just dial back all my Bijan content now, or should I slowly pull it back so no one notices, Tommy? You know, this is not a cookie cutter situation, Thomas. Okay? Give me 3, 4, 5. I'd say that to be safe, Ian, because you're gonna get Bijan almost every time at 3, 4, 5. That is the perfect territory. We got a couple of super chats. I want to keep up with these as they roll in. Ian, thank you very much. Runner Boy, appreciate yours. That boy says, I got a guy interested in Quentin Johnson, who's on my bench. He's got Tony, Mitchell, Howell, Pitts, P. Ryan, Penny. Do I take a look or wait and see? I mean, none of that excites me other than, I like Quentin Johnson over Tony probably long term. Would I be interested in Kyle Pitts if you needed a tight end? Absolutely, I'd do that. I'd probably swap that straight up. I just don't know that he will. And I don't know that I want to overpay for Kyle Pitts because out of every player in that Atlanta Falcons offense, the one I'm most worried about is Kyle Pitts because they have proven to avoid using him. And he is coming back from an injury still, and he's not 100%. And I know that London's going to get fed by Ritter. I just don't know that Pitts is going to be. I like Pitts a lot. He's a talent, but he feels a little risky. So, is Quentin Johnson maybe even better? So I would say stand down until an offer really, really sticks out. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you. Oh, and Thomas's super chat says, what's this? What's this say? On Jets wide receiver. Oh, yeah, Brownlee. I like Brownlee. Brownlee had this spectacular one-handed catch today. And you just got to keep an eye on this Jets wide receiver, Brownlee. There's an opportunity for Brownlee to get into the spotlight a little bit. Just keep an eye on him. In deeper dynasty, pick him up. In redraft, you can't really do anything about it unless you're in the deepest league of mankind. Then you can maybe grab him. But Brownlee is somebody to monitor, no doubt about it. Andrew Silva says, Smitty, other Silva is back. Bro, I'm so excited to see my double Silva brothers back. absolute glory. Look at these two gentlemen, the Silver brothers. Where have you guys been? I'm going to go ahead and let bygones be bygones, and that you guys were absent, for quite some time for a good reason. Hit that thumb up button. We got 256 people in here and only 70 thumbs up. But my Silver brothers have been missing for a very long time. In fact, at one point I did put the bat signal up. This is for DW. He's been missing. I'm going to put him over here because we need to put him back on here. But the Silva brothers were on here at one point right here. And I was like, where the hell are these guys? Where are these guys? The Silva brothers were staples on the show, and they're nowhere to be found anymore. But they're back, and now DW is still missing. We have no idea where DW is. Double D, we call him. I don't know where he is. Marco and Andrew, the brothers, appreciate you back in action. So excited. Deckard with the first super chat of the night. That's a standing O. Thank you, Deckard, for dropping that super chat. I think we're caught up. Oh, no, we got another two that just popped in here. Tommy dropping a super chat. That's surprising. Good to be back. Busting balls. Keep up the grind. Tommy, I have a soft spot for Tommy. Sometimes I think he's here to ruffle feathers on purpose, but then other times he can kind of come around. So Tommy, maybe mix it up. Positive comment and then busting balls comment, so that you don't end up getting a mod pissed off at you or something like that, Tommy, because I don't want you to go anywhere. Drop James Robinson or Jordan Mason for Brownlee. James Robinson. Why are we picking up James Robinson, Just Sherman? I definitely would drop him. No doubt about it. All right, let's get back to the news. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, all my super chatters. Cooper Kupp, total avoid. Alvin Kamara. What are we doing with this guy? Is this the report here? That's Calvin Ridley. Okay, I'll set that right here for Calvin. I think this is the Kamara news. Here it is. Kamara news. Alvin Kamara will meet with Commissioner Roger Goodell. He already did. And the thinking is, I think I have that piece of news, the updated. This was the original. Here's the updated version. NFL Network, Ian Rappaport expects Alvin Kamara to be suspended. And that's like no real news, no real development other than he didn't walk out with an indication that he wasn't. We kind of thought he was going to. This meeting maybe would have given us some sort of sign that like maybe there could be a time served. Even though there's no way in my mind he should have that. I'm just saying we thought maybe Goodell would do that because Goodell's been ignoring this situation the entire offseason. This is NBC Sports saying Rappaport was only speculating, but it is a good starting point for fantasy managers trying to decode Kamara's situation. Kamara was facing a felony charge following the incident at a nightclub in Las Vegas during Pro Bowl weekend last year, but he eventually pled no contest to a misdemeanor felony charge, and that felony charge was breach of peace. Breach of peace, not felony for conspiracy of battery or committing battery or bodily harm to another individual or anything of the sort. It was breach of peace. Meaning like you disturbed the regular population. You disrupted the people in a general vicinity with your altercation. It has nothing to do with the man that was attacked by Alvin Kamara and his entourage. So to the letter of the law, Alvin Kamara is looking at the most light sentence in terms of a suspension that he probably could be looking at in terms of a misdemeanor. And he pled no contest to it, which is another important part because no contest, while the NFL could look at it as a form of guilt, technically speaking, it's not in a court of law. So no contest to the breach of peace, and there's a very strong chance that Alvin Kamara faces a 1 to 3 game suspension. And then we're going to see his ADP absolutely vault after that news comes out. So we will see. Rappaport threw out a 2, 4, or 6 game suspension as possible outcomes. Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller would be in line for a sizable role increase if Kamara is out of action to start the year. I think Jamal would probably get the goal line work and they would ease Kendre Miller in. Kendre Miller is a very, very good player. I think they want him to eventually replace Kamara, so I do think he'll get a shot. The interesting part will be if Kamara's out the first 3 weeks, what happens if Kendre Miller's going nuts? I don't know that he will, But what happens if he is? We need to make sure we're cuffing Kendre Miller to Alvin Kamara. But I'm going to go ahead and give you a Smitty of approval on drafting Alvin Kamara at his continuously disrespectfully low ADP of like around 7.5 to 9. 7.5 to 9 on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. That is absolutely crazy. It's madness. And you can cuff Kendre Miller at a very reasonable price well after that draft selection. So Alvin Kamara news in the books there. Calvin Ridley has the injured toe. According to Doug Peterson, he told reporters that Calvin Ridley has a toe injury and will be limited at practice. This is nothing big. For anybody who wants to say, Smitty, your bias, Calvin Ridley's injured, Cooper Kupp's injured. Why aren't you worried about Calvin Ridley? Because it's clearly not a big deal. And even if it was the same exact injury, the same severity, I would be concerned. I would, because he's coming back from a absence in play, a hiatus, and he's coming in after a long hiatus, and he's going to come back and just be injured the first week or two of the season. So I would be very concerned if it was the exact same lingering potential issue. Now, if this comes out to be a turf toe, and it's a very severe turf toe, we'll address it then. But even if it was the exact same issue, he's 30. He's not. He's also in an offense that I question the ability for him to get fed the football anywhere near the tune he needs to be fed. And I also question the ability of the offense to live in the red zone. He plays in a potent offense with a quarterback that we call the law dog, that drinks milk and then bathes his mang in milk every single night, his golden mang.
Law Dog Milk for mains on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
Pour, soak, win. Law Dog is coming for blood. He's coming.
A lion lives among us, posing as half man, half lawman. His golden mane is reportedly 6 feet long and is bathed in milk.
That's right.
His marvelous mane grows longer with each breath he takes. Legend has it that if you say T-Law in the dark in the bathroom 3 times, you lose your league instantly. Conspiracy fanatics have linked his triangle bone structure to the ancient pyramids and alien theory.
There's such a big difference between his injury and his injury. Okay? This is very, very minor from all accounts, and I have no concerns whatsoever. But again, even if in a worst case scenario it was the same, this guy's got so much more going for him. This is a disaster waiting to happen. This is a player that I believe is not even injured, really. There's a lot of reports about this being very, very minor, that it's like a one-day type of thing, and we might not hear a single thing about it in a day or so. That's how unconcerned I am about Calvin Ridley's toe injury. I'm taking Ridley 3.1, and you can't stop me. Steve B, you know what I have to say about that?
You've just been Smitty approved.
Now, I don't necessarily agree that's where I'm telling everybody to take him, but I'm not going to stop you. Steve B, if you are in an underdog draft at 3.1 and you want to take Calvin Ridley as your third drafted player, I Smitty approve you. I don't really Smitty approve the draft value because you can get him later, but I Smitty approve it. And I'm not stopping a single soul from drafting Calvin Ridley anywhere inside the third round. I don't care if it's 3.1.
You've just been Smitty approved.
You draft him at 3.1. Go on with your bad self. And Owen says team said injury was cleat issue. New cleats fixed. That's it. That's what I'm saying. There's so many different reports about it being a hangnail, as somebody said in the live chat, or he was wearing cleats that were bothering him. The guy's going lightning speed, and he might have had the wrong shoes on. That's the difference between these two individuals. So I'm going to tell you right now, stop comparing these two and saying, Smitty, you're biased. Why are you not concerned about Joe Burrow and Calvin Ridley? This guy's 30 years old in a bad offense, and he's never bounced back to form. So he's coming in whenever a player's coming back from injury and he's not ready. And you get to almost week 1 and he's still injured, or he's coming back from another injury. Don't you kind of get the sense this is a Michael Thomas situation more so than a bounce back Christian McCaffrey situation? Because there's a chance that he ends up coming back and being Christian McCaffrey good at the wide receiver position, because McCaffrey was injured for 2 straight years and we thought he couldn't bounce back. But I think he's on borrowed time, and I've made that very clear. I'm not trusting CMC to do what he did last year one more full year. I just don't trust Shanahan. I don't trust the Niners system to keep a running back healthy, and I don't trust Christian McCaffrey's ability to stay healthy, even though he managed to pull it off last year despite several times where we thought maybe the knee issue was going to keep him out. He had a knee injury, and there was a couple times where it got scary and it was touch and go. They're going to overfeed him or they're going to underfeed him. It's a double-edged sword. Okay, the sword is double-edged, and if you go into the season thinking that McCaffrey's the locked number 1 because he's just the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, like Tommy said, he's just the GOAT, he's McCaffrey. At one point, am I right? Am I right? I mean, Tommy, you think everyone is behind you on this one, but they're not, and I appreciate you, Tommy, but he is the GOAT. Yeah, okay, but guess what? The season kicks off in about a little over a month, and he's no longer going to be the GOAT. Maybe right now he is. Maybe he's carrying that over into the offseason. And you can, in nostalgic fashion, assume he's going to be the guy. And I don't blame you, and I don't call you crazy, but don't dare come in here and say it's crazy to like Bijan over CMC. That is a very arguable situation. And if you don't think so, don't say you like Bijan. If you think Bijan can't be argued as the number 1 overall running back or even the number 1 overall player, the 1.1 in a redraft, I'm not saying take him there if you don't have to, but if you don't think Bijan can be argued, listen to the words that I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. If you don't acknowledge that it can be argued that Bijan's the number 1 overall running back and the number 1 overall player, you cannot say, but I like Bijan. You cannot say that. You're not allowed to say that. And if you say that, I'm taking away your Bijan card because you don't deserve it any longer.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Ridley, he's going to be fine. Word is, it's a cleat issue, as the Super Chat and other reports have said. There's nothing to see here. Please move on. Please move on. Move forward. Go dominate. Calvin Ridley to the moon. Calvin Ridley is a moon man for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. For a reason. And here's that moon man list one more time.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
Hate Bijan, says my opinion. Why is it that people that hate Bijan or hate on Bijan can't say his name right? They can't spell it right. They can't. How do you hate a guy? Is my opinion hate him or not? You're saying hate Bijan. Oh, you're saying hate Bijan. Go ahead. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. You might have to clarify, bro, because you're saying two different things. Swaggy continues to post this over and over. So Swaggy, we're taking away your Bijan card.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
You don't get it back. You don't get it back, Swaggy, because you're putting it in the chat like 10 times in a row. And so it's not like you're saying, Swaggy, I kind of like Bijan a lot. Yeah, I do. But I like CMC a little more. You're literally blasting it in the chat over and over. Therefore, you're telling me that you're so hardcore against Bijan in this particular conversation. You no longer get a Bijan card.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Who's driving with the wind down? There's a screwdriver by the door. Who's driving with the window down? I hear nothing but wind. Nothing but wind. Who is that? Is that Steven?
I had the fan on. I had the fan on me in the garage. It's hot. I turned it around the other way. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. Steven, what's up? I'm in the middle of the news, but I thought I'd take your call real quick because I haven't talked to you in a while. Go ahead. I'm going to have you mute in a second while I finish the news, but tell me what's on your mind.
Well, go ahead and do your news and everything, and I'll wait. I don't have anything going on. Do your thing and come back to me later.
Mute for me if you don't mind, and then I'll circle back around.
10-4.
Okay. Let's see here. We got a bunch of YouTube exclusive memberships rolling on through, so I'm going to mute that as those roll through. Appreciate every single one of you. We got this news. Ron Navy's going to be excited about this, and I'm sure he's been seeing this all day anyway. But I'm going to get Swaggy's ridiculous argument out of the way, and just say this: the Atlantic's reporting that there's no doubt, and this is just one man's opinion, but I do agree with it. There's no doubt the Steelers will lean heavily on the ground game this year. Most certainly, are they're gonna lean on the ground game. And I really do like Najee in the 4th round if you can get him, but it just depends on how high he climbs with all this running back musical chairs going on in terms of the ADP. Breece Hall's been dropping. Tony Pollard's dropped a little bit. Now there's talk about Zeke Elliott potentially, going back to Dallas, which I don't think is a big deal even if it happens, but that talk is merely dropping Pollard into the 3rd round, which is great. There's benefits to all these freak out knee-jerk reacting, right? But Najee probably is climbing because of it. And I feel like the only downside here is I don't want Najee to climb too high because I loved where he's priced right now. He's priced into a high risk, low risk, high reward situation. That's where Najee's ADP is right now. And I love that because I can grab Najee sometimes. I've got him as a 5th drafted player. Like, it's absolutely ludicrous. This guy was a top 5 to 10 running back last year walking into the draft season. We got 300 people in the building. 300 people now in the building. Let's give ourselves a standing ovation on that one. We definitely do this from time to time, but I'm just saying, like, the season's getting going, and this show is taking off, and I want every one of you to give yourselves a mashed potato for spreading the word, not keeping this show a secret, and really getting the word out about this bad boy, because we're going to the moon this year. All of us are going straight to the moon. But Najee Harris should be fed a ton, and hopefully he's completely over his Liz Frank injury and every other injury he might be, potentially going through. He's very, very much an injury risk until he proves otherwise, but that's okay, because if I could get him as my 5th drafted player in a grandma draft or as my late 4th drafted player, that is what you call an absolute smash. And so for that reason, I'm totally in on Najee at the right price tag. Let's hope his value doesn't climb as Breece Hall continues to get doubt because of potentially Dalvin Cook. There's a lot of rumors that Dalvin Cook's market is just not where it needs to be. He's getting lowballed by both the Jets and the Miami Dolphins. That's why he left the New York Jets situation after his meeting, because he didn't have a good offer. It felt like it was all great. He sat down at the table like you would with a car dealer who said, "We'll make it work." You're driving around with the car dealer and he says, "Hey Smitty, how you like the horsepower here? Hey Smitty, why don't you use that electric seat? Hey Smitty, it's got a seat warmer so you can warm up your rear end. How do you like this car?" "It's good. I just don't know if it'll be in my price range." He leans over and goes, "We'll make it work. We'll make it work. I'll go to bat for you. We'll make it work." Then he gets you to the table and he abandons you. He says, "Here comes my finance manager. I have no say over the price." And he just runs away like an injured dog. And you get left at the altar. That's how I felt that Dalvin Cook probably got treated in New York, because they were whining and dining him. The Jets fan base was obliviously going, "Dalvin Cook," no matter how much it hurts Breece Hall. "Dalvin Cook," no matter how much it hurts the confidence of Breece Hall. Like, what are fans thinking? What are the New York Jets fans thinking? You don't want Breece Hall put in a crazy situation. You want Breece Hall running the football by week 4 to the tune of a full go, unrestricted monster running back. You don't need Dalvin Cook meddling in his workload. Not that I think it would ultimately affect it. I think Breece Hall would blow him out of the water. Not to mention the little birdies whispering in my ear say that he was told, "You will be playing backup to Breece Hall. You're not coming in here with a chance to start. You're not coming in here with a chance to start. You're coming in here as a compliment to Breece Hall, as a spelling option for Breece Hall until he gets his feet, totally under him. You're going to take on a little bit more workload in the early weeks than you will, let's say week 5 on, and that's normal. We expect that. We expect that out of Michael Carter. We expect that out of the other rookie that they got. We don't really need Dalvin Cook to come in here because they got it covered. And Breece Hall is getting 10 to 12 carries a game to kick off the year. There's not room for Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's market's not there. The money wasn't there. He walked away from the New York Jets. He walked away from the Miami Dolphins. He went back to Miami. Some say just to hang out. Some say to kind of play games with the New York Jets. If I get on a plane and go to Miami, the Jets are going to think, we gotta increase our price, we gotta increase the payment amount. Let's get this guy back in here. We'll pay more. They don't think that way. What we're hearing, ESPN confirmed that the Jets and the Dolphins both do not see it as a priority. It's a luxury addition. And some are whispering that the Colts could go shopping and poke around at Dalvin Cook. I don't know how true that is. I've heard a lot of whispers of it from a couple different people that are seeing maybe chatter. It's probably just people, spreading some gossip around. But that might be something that ends up, popping up as a potential suitor that doesn't end up, ironing out or whatever, or it does. So expect that. The Patriots have been interested. I don't know where Dalvin's going to land, but the fact that he left New York and there's no buzz at all is similar to when Hopkins left New England and there was no word at all and everyone's like, he's still going to sign there. I don't think so. I think when you leave a situation like Dalvin Cook left and you don't sign, when every intention, every single word that came out of his mouth was, yeah, this could work, or I think I'm feeling pretty good here, and he leaves without a deal, he got lowballed. And at some point, he's got to say, okay, if all these deals are even, would I rather play for the Jets? He might say that. And that might be the reason he ends up going back, because nobody's going to give him a better offer. But he probably will follow the money. Last piece of news, and then we'll open up the phone lines. Last piece of news was Jameson Williams getting a ton of reps during the preseason before the former first-round pick serves his 6-game suspension. This is good news, and I really, really like Jameson Williams, and I'm rooting for him. And in weekly best ball underdog fantasy promo code Smitty, weeklies are where you draft a team, and every single week is like a separate league, a 1-week league. And so if you draft a weeklies team with, let's say, Jameson Williams, it doesn't matter if you don't even care about weeks 1 through 8. You might say, hey, once I'm going to draft Jameson, I'm going to draft Kadarius Toney, I'm going to draft Kenneth Walker, I'm going to draft Breece Hall, I'm going to draft players that are going to take some time to get into a rhythm, and I'm not going to concern myself about winning week 1, because week 1 is compartmentalized to week 2. Week 2 has nothing to do with week 5. Week 5 has nothing to do with week 1. Week 17 has nothing to do with week 10. None of these weeks are tied to each other. None of them have to do with each other at all, and you could literally win $20,000 each individual week. Whoever wins first place in that week gets $20,000. Whoever wins second gets 10. Whoever wins third gets 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,000, 4,000, 3, all the way down. And it's all the same prizes every week because every week is individual. And Jameson Williams is a guy I love drafting in that format because I don't care about weeks 1 through 6 necessarily. I want to try and win those weeks. I mean, every week you have a shot at $20K at first place, so I'm going to try that. But I find myself drafting Jameson Williams in builds where I'm building for weeks like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think he could really pick it up as the season rolls along. But let's pump the brakes a little bit and just remind ourselves that he didn't come back and he caught one pass for like a touchdown, right? One catch. One catch. Impressive catch. One catch. How many games did he play? 6. He played 6 games and caught one pass. So we need to keep that in mind, but I still am very optimistic. It just really depends on what we're talking about. So Jameson Williams, I don't know how many people can afford to wait on him, but if you can in a certain situation, you got a lot of depth, you can make a trade. You're getting rid of an older player and you want to get Jameson and potential Walker for, a Derrick Henry, and Kenny Walker's got low value right now in a dynasty or a keeper league. Maybe you can throw in a couple second rounders. Maybe you could trade, I don't know, an older player like we're talking about Cooper Kupp for a Jameson Williams and a running back that you really, really like. Maybe you can go get, I don't know, maybe you can trade a Tyreek Hill and redraft for a potential Fields and, I don't know, Fields, Walker, Pacheco for Tyreek Hill and a quarterback slightly below Fields. You can do all kinds of creative things to try and get into a Jameson Williams without it being the core part of your trade. I definitely would make him like an accoutrement of your trade. I wouldn't make him the focal point. He could be like a throw-in, so to speak. Elijah Moore a lot this year for sure, my guy. Let me see if the phone lines are... Let me open the phone lines up. Phone lines are open now.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, dial in. Let me put the phone line on screen. Dial into the show. Calvin Ridley, if you didn't know, is an absolute monster, and he's going to blow up in 2023. So get on board or get lost is basically the phrase of the day. Kincaid report looks sweet. Yeah, Kincaid's looking good. Our Moon men are looking good. Our Mars men are looking good. Now, Garrett Wilson's going to be back Saturday at practice, so there's no concern there. Breece Hall is going to be fine. There's no negative reports about Breece Hall at all. If Dalvin Cook gets passed over, Breece Hall will return to his third-round value. So, Owen, you're live, pal. What can I do for you?
Oh, I was just coming in to talk about, everybody's kind of like, talks about the training camp videos and stuff like that. And what are your thoughts on, like, how much what's the word I'm looking for?
How much stock do I put into training camp?
Yeah.
It's a great question. It's a great question, my guy, but I don't think there's a blanket answer for it. I mean, basically what I would tell you is that everything is compartmentalized and different, and you can't throw a blanket statement over anything. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say, oh, Calvin Ridley was out for multiple years. Look what happened to Deshaun Watson his first year back. He was really rusty. It's very different position, different looking in camp right now because he looks quicker than every single wide receiver in the NFL right now. He just does. He looks absolutely electric. Breece Hall coming back from an ACL tear, and his recovery's been great. He's running 23 miles per hour. Javonte was way behind him, it seemed, and now Javante's either on par or maybe even ahead of Breece Hall, but we'll call it equal footing. We're also on the clock in the throne draft, apparently. Thank you, Couch. We're on the clock in the throne draft, so we can make that pick right now live in the chat. So let me put the throne draft on screen. Let me see if I can put this on screen here real quick. So we're on the clock in the throne draft. Fantasy Football Throne is where you, the people, my followers, draft my team for me. And we go to battle against 11 other communities. And we are on the clock right now. And I'm pretty sure we can make this pick very quickly, to be honest. I don't think this is going to take long at all. I can make this pick live. So let me go ahead and put this above everything. 1 second. Okay. So the draft went so far it went Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, and Bijan went early at 1.5, unfortunately. So we can't get Bijan. Kelsey went. That would have been a great pick. Eckler went. Tyreek Hill went. Now it's really up to us to decide if we want to go Diggs, Barkley, Lamb, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Mahomes, Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams, St. Brown, Derrick Henry. We got a lot of options on the table. We have to consider that we're picking at number 9 here. So 10, 11, 12, 2.1, 2.3. So we have essentially like 6 other players that are going to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who knows who we get in that second round? We got to decide who's going to fall. Do we try and let someone fall that we might want now that we could take a little early, if you know what I'm saying? Like, or do we grab Diggs? Do we grab St. Brown? Do we go ahead and grab another wide receiver that we love very, very much on this show? What are we doing? We got a Barkley vote. Let's cast a vote right now. These are the players that we can draft. Let's go ahead and tally it up, and we'll go ahead. If I could get somebody in the chat, like somebody that I trust very, very much, Sick Nasty, can you do a tally for me? Diggs, 1 vote. G. Willie Diggs, Barkley. Don't vote twice or I'm going to take your vote out of here. So, Runner Boy, stop voting over.
Smitty, your mod should be able to run a poll, like that everybody can vote only once.
Yeah, it's okay. I like doing it in the chat.
All right.
Diggs, we got Diggs. We got the Ryan says Diggs. We got Swaggy says Diggs. I'm just kidding with you, Runner Boy. I don't want you to get mad at me. I'm just joking. But I mean, I don't want you to vote twice, but I'm not mad at you. CeeDee Lamb, Diggs, Lamb, Barkley, Wilson, Diggs. Let's keep in mind the potential to get maybe players to fall. We don't have to necessarily force everybody here. The current suggested rank is Diggs, Barkley, Lamb, A.J. Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Mahomes, Chubb, Devontae Adams, St. Brown, Derrick Henry, Garrett Wilson, Tony Pollard. Diggs, Barkley, Lamb, Diggs. I kind of feel like Diggs is the potential winner. We got a lot of Barkleys, though, coming in strong. We got a Barkley, got a Diggs, a Barkley then, says Runner Boy. I believe it'll be running back hungry and heavy in this league, but that doesn't mean we can't get steals later on. So I'm kind of intrigued to go wide receiver, to be honest, because I think we can land the players that we want. Javon, 1 vote only, please, or we take your vote off the board. G Money says Diggs. John, please vote once. That way, Sick Nasty's not sifting through 10,000 of your votes, so please do one or it gets taken away. AJ Brown says Will. I'm surprised we haven't got more AJ Brown. Who can someone? Owen, is that you? Can you mute whoever's like doing their laundry or washing their dishes? Just mute real quick, and I'll come back to you. Barkley, Diggs is leading. Don't spam, or you go in timeout, says Travis. Smitty is at 2 wide receiver or 3. It's here's the lineup. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. No kicker, no defense. So 3 required wide receivers, 2 required running backs, and 1 flex. Basically the underdog fantasy. This is not on underdog, but that same kind of running back, wide receiver, flex requirement. What are we looking at, Sick Nasty? It's so hard to count because who knows? No one knows how to follow directions. Ron Navy says Barkley, PPR, 1 QB. Diggs all day long. Barkley. I do like Barkley a lot. The only thing I'm thinking, and this is for the throne draft, where you guys, my followers, draft my team. All these other teams, we're going against them. You draft my team, their following drafts their team, and then we go to war during the season. So you guys get to pick for me. Definitely Diggs then if we go 3 wide receivers, says Stormcat. Quentin Johnson is going to be the man. Okay, irrelevant at the moment, pal, but I appreciate you. Diggs is in the lead, Barkley, then Wilson. Diggs has more looks. Diggs is the winning pick, I think, says Terry. Take Barkley, stop thinking, says my opinion. I think it's a very arguable thing there, my opinion. But I do like Barkley a lot. I like both of them. Diggs concerns me a little bit, but I think Barkley's going to have a big year. 3rd to 5th round running backs, a lot of upside. I kind of feel the same way. I feel like in this league we're gonna be able to get a couple of RBs that we love later. Diggs, Barkley. Clearly Barkley, Diggs finalists. Okay, so maybe I'll put a poll up. I'll put a poll up right now, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get the vote. So let me unplug this real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and create a poll, and then I'll put it up, and then we'll vote. While I'm doing that, let's go over to Clinton real quick. Clinton, what do you have?
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry I'm late to the party. I had to work a little late today, but I was just calling in because yesterday I had heard your question on the show, but I had lost contact. My phone had cut out. But, yeah, I just wanted to let you know I think the world of Ridley too. I mean, where he's going at, I think he is a steal. I see both those pictures up there of Kamara and Ridley, and I think both of them are going to be slam dunks. And I seen you yesterday. I seen you draft, and I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, buddy. You drafted my boy at number 10, and I was rooting for you. I said, "Oh, yeah, you can have a good draft."
What draft?
Last night I was watching you. You had drafted AJ Brown, I think, at number 10, huh?
Oh yeah,
and then you had like
in the best
ETN
ball.
and
In the best ball. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the poll. I'm going to put the poll up right now in the YouTube chat. I want everybody to vote. Okay. Here's the vote. We'll just do it this way from now on. This is a lot easier. I know I could do it on YouTube, but I kind of like this one a little bit better. Let's see here. All right. So I'm going to go based off of, I want Diggs, but I just question him right now. I'm just gonna hit Barkley. I don't know why I did that, but I'm gonna hit Barkley. Here's the vote. Okay, here's the vote. Vote has been dropped in the live chat. Let me pin it real quick. And then you guys can vote. So the poll has been pinned. And let's see what everybody is voting. So you're seeing it live. 25 votes Barkley, 26 votes Barkley, 22 votes Diggs. This is interesting. It's getting a little close. 28-25. Diggs is closing in. 30 votes, 31-26, 31-28. 60 votes so far. Who are we drafting in the fantasy football throne where you, my followers, draft my team for me and I go to war with the team you draft for me? Barkley 33, Diggs 31. You guys can hear it. Can you guys hear the yard guys? They're doing a final blowing of the yard. I got the yard's finally complete. They just finished it all right now. 41 votes for Barkley, 38 for Diggs, 44 for Barkley, 38. We'll call it at 80 votes. So 44-38. Please vote, guys. There's 335 of you in the live stream right now. Might I add, only 135 thumbs up. So if we could get those rookie numbers up, those are rookie numbers. Pump those numbers up. But 332 of you, please hit that pin link in the live chat and give this a vote. We need 80 votes. The first one to 80 total votes wins. Barkley is 48. Diggs has 39. Barkley 49. Diggs 40. Let's go. Let's vote. We'll either do 80 votes or we'll put a timer up. We'll put a stopwatch timer up we'll do a countdown of 4 minutes here. We'll do 5 minutes. Owen, did you have anything you wanted to ask? So the vote ends in 5 minutes. Do you have anything?
I just think Barkley's going to be the better pick here, for sure.
So 80.
We got a lot more wide receivers we like in that second round than running backs.
Yeah,
I like Barkley too.
I do think a lot of players will fall though, but that's okay. I think some receivers could fall too. I mean, there's a lot of receivers that we love that I think could be our third wide receiver. Please take Barkley so we can win. We're not taking I'm not taking anybody that you don't vote. My opinion. You're the one voting. It's not me. I'm not taking anybody. You're taking somebody. So make sure you vote. My opinion. 56 votes for Barkley, 44 for Diggs. There's like a 10 vote gap that just stays there. The link is pinned in the live chat if you want to partake in the throne drafting. Don't complain later. You should have taken... I hate when people say that to me. You should have taken so-and-so. I shouldn't have taken anybody. It's not my choice. It's my following's choice. I don't draft a single player. Let's go. Phone lines are open if anybody wants to dial in. Barkley, 58.
Hey, could I ask you...
44. Yeah.
Could I ask you a quick question, bud?
The link's pinned.
I just wanted to know if you think that. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to know if you think that all these people are mad about what Kamara did getting in that fight, or if you think they're just mad that they didn't vote for him and some people did, and now it's looking like he's going to be a good pick. What do you think the madness is really behind? Are they really mad because he got in a brawl? I mean, with another guy?
Yeah, bro. People are weird. People are weird about Kamara. There are some people that take the stance of like, on principle, I won't draft him, and at least those people have like a conviction that isn't changing, and they're not even giving you their opinion on fantasy. They're just like saying, I'm not drafting that guy. He's a piece of crap or whatever. And like, you can't really argue that. That's just the way they feel, and you almost respect it in a way. That somebody's got the ability to do that, I respect it. I can't do that. I not only am I giving advice for content reasons, I personally want to win, and I'm going to take Kamara because he's a value. But you got to think that in anything in fantasy where a player's doubted, like Bijan, for example, or Fields, when people have said he's going to be bad or he can't be as good as you're saying, and then they start seeing things that are supposed to change their mind, but they don't let it, that is where those people have not evolved. The best fantasy football manager is the one that can adjust and adapt. You always hear me say adjust and adapt season. We got to adjust and adapt. Breece Hall went down, adjust and adapt. And I think that if you want to improve the one weakness that everybody has in fantasy football, it's learn to adjust and adapt. Don't hold on to a certain opinion and dig your heels in. Make sure you're able to. The link is pinned in the live chat, guys. It's literally sitting right above you. Just look at the top. I don't need to paste it again. It's right at the top of the live chat. A minute and 27 seconds left. Vote. If you guys want to be a part of this pick, you got to vote. Don't come in and say you should have taken somebody. It's your fault if you don't vote. 65 votes Barkley, 48 votes Diggs, 57.5% Barkley, but that could shift really early. But I will say that, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, Kamara is on the planet Uranus men list. He's like the king of it, but I'm still drafting him. It doesn't mean, you can't be a player that I draft. Okay, 54 seconds left. And barring a crazy change in voting trending here, it looks like Barkley's going to be our pick. 69 votes, 58.5%. Barkley, 37 seconds left. The link is pinned. The link is pinned in the live chat. It's sitting right in front of you. Just look up. It's pinned. 23 seconds. 23 seconds. Or no, 14 seconds now. 70 votes to 51. I almost want to let it go to 80. We got 322 of you in here. We should have more than 122 total votes. 4, 3, 2, 1. We are picking Saquon Barkley. Now, you know what's going to be interesting is if it swings in favor of Diggs in the net. We'll leave this poll up. Just see what happens. It's going to be crazy if things swing in favor of Diggs. We are on the clock. We're going to select Saquon Barkley. Is everybody in agreement? The vote was Saquon Barkley, correct? Barkley it is. Saquon Barkley, drafted by all of you. And here is the board. So it went JJ, Chase, McCaffrey, Kupp, Bijan, Kelsey, Eckler, Tyreek Hill, Barkley. You guys made the vote. You guys made the pick. You guys made the pick. And we'll be back on that to draft later. 329 of you in here, please punch that thumb up button. As we said earlier on the show, complete avoid in Cooper Kupp this year, in my opinion, because he's not going to fall to a value where I go, okay, the risk now is less than the upside. It's really high risk, high reward. If you think of a risk and a reward as like a scale, and there's risk on this side and reward on this side, you can draft that player that's in the middle. It's a risky player, right? A player that has that kind of example would be like Debo. Debo in the mid to late third round would be equal risk, equal reward. And you'd have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Do I take Debo here? Maybe not in every league, but in some leagues I will. And so that's Debo Samuel. But a player like Jahmyr Gibbs at 4.1, that risk is here, the upside's here, the upside's heavy and smashing that scale down, which means that's a home run pick. Cooper Kupp, his ability to get his scale even would be deep into the second round. Honestly, like middle of the second round is where I could say, okay, I'm going to get in one league, but probably not in a lot of leagues because it's an even risk reward. And someone might say, well, it's Cooper Kupp. It's Cooper Kupp. But Cooper Kupp he's had one electric, amazing, Triple Crown. It was an amazing season. One electric, amazing top, elite top 1 to 4 wide receiver season. His other season was 1,100 yards. It was a fantastic year. But those are the only 2 big years he's had. Last year, he didn't finish. So you can't really use half a season and say, oh, he was going to be the best. Well, he wasn't. And he also was injured like mid-season, shut it down, never came back, and literally less than a month ago was telling us that he's hopeful that he can start ramping up and getting back on track. Like, this has been a long time. He's 30 years old. He's a big avoid. Kamara, his suspension is likely going to be a 1 to 3 game suspension because Goodell met with him, and the vibe is from Schefter and Rappaport that it is going to be a suspension, but because it's a breach of peace that he pled no contest to, misdemeanor, we're looking at a 1 to 3 game suspension to the letter of the law. The league will still do something to prove a point, but I don't know how much of a point. And Ridley has a little itty bitty hangnail, and they're talking about a cleat issue. So it's not a big deal at all. Ridley to the moon. Those are the big news pieces for today. What else? Oh yeah, we had this one right here. Jameson Williams catching a bunch of balls and getting a lot of work before he goes on a 6-game suspension. So it's nice to see him doing some work and maybe getting to a point where he can come in and not look cold turkey. Runner Boy dropping a super chat, says Barkley top 3, book it. I appreciate that, Runner Boy. And look, he's our guy now. In the throne, we own Saquon Barkley. You guys, the viewers, voted it in, so Smitty approved. We ride together on that one, and everybody had a say, so it wasn't like, Okay, Clinton, any other comments or questions?
No, that's good. I'm good. I just wanted to chime in and say that, and that was about it.
I may have to go out and say bye to these guys are leaving here. They're leaving here in my front. They're in my front yard, watering it down, getting the yard prepped. They're about to leave here in a little bit. I might have to run out in a bit. I might have to call the show a little short today. Owen, what do you got for me fantasy wise? Ask me whatever's on your mind, pal.
I saw this guy. He's like a biomechanical. Like he had some degree in like how the body works, and he did a video on Kenneth Walker and something about like his movement, and like this guy like tries to predict injury-prone players. Like, is that something that you have ever like looked into or like used to predict who might be injury-prone? Because he also like says he explains why CMC gets his injuries as well, and he thinks that like some way in like how Kenneth Walker moves that he's always going to have this groin problem. And like it's never going to go away. Do you buy into any of that?
No, I think there's some rhyme and reason to a player's like shiftiness and the torque that they bring to the table. Like Barry Sanders, they'll never be a player, in my opinion, that'll ever have the same amount of torque on their ligaments and their knees and their joints and their hamstrings and quads than Barry Sanders. Like Barry Sanders was he should have torn ACL every Sunday. But now granted players are not the same as they used to be. And so there's a potential that maybe, that Kenneth Walker, because of the nature of the position, because of some turf, concerns with the way players' bodies respond on turf, because of a whole lot of different reasons, the NFL hits harder and stronger. And the fact that these guys are from a younger age, getting hit harder and stronger, and it's just more competitive at a younger level. Like in Pop Warner, you're just adding so many more hits and so much more, pounds of getting, blasted into the ground, into the knees. And so I think runners are just more prone to injury. But I don't think there's, look, he's got a theory, and it's not lock solid. Like it's something that maybe he's seen correlations, and that's all it can be. He 0% of him can say anything with certainty. It's just hey, correlation here. That's all he's drawn conclusions to. Hey, I'm gonna put the show on hold for like 1 minute or 2 minutes and take this quick break. I'm gonna end the phone line. Ron, call back in just a few like 2 minutes when the timer's off. I'm gonna put the show on hold back. I gotta go out to the front yard real quick with the workers.
Why don't you keep it open, Doc? Keep it open.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it on hold real quick. Call right back. Call right back. In 2 minutes, I'm gonna put a timer on the screen. All right, be right back. Okay. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere, everyone. Just hang tight. Let me put a timer on screen here. We'll do 2 minutes. I'll be back in T-minus 2 minutes. Hang tight. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had to go out to the yard real quick. I'm going to open the phone line back up. Ron, Navy, and Owen, you can call back in. I had to take care of the yard. The yard looks immaculate. They put in the putting green in the backyard just now. Just a small little 2-hole little putting thing, but it looks phenomenal. But I had to go check it out and make sure it's okay. Let me get through these super chats real quickly. Josh, let's see here. Barkley, top 3, book it. Runner boy, I think I already got to that one. Appreciate you, runner boy. Thank you for your vote. All right, dial back in, Ron and Owen. Appreciate you waiting. We got 288 people in here. I know a couple people bailed out because I was gone and they were impatient Ians, but I get it. Backyard looks good. We'll be doing a live stream from the backyard very, very soon. I'm probably not going to go too much longer tonight because I got a few things I got to handle in the backyard and lock some things up and put some things away before it gets dark here. Owen's dialing back in. I'm sure Ron will be calling in a second. Can't wait to putt with you, says Alex, your boy Wasabi. Wasabi in the building. Poker in the front, liquor in the rear, says Zach. St. Garland says Super Smitty Land. Yep, it's going to be great. Backyard Smitty approved. It is Smitty approved. Owen, you're live again. Sorry about that, bro.
Oh, you're good, man. We were just talking about the injury thing, remember? The guy with the trying to predict injuries on
yeah. So like, do I think that there's some rhyme or reason
it's like
to it?
Art. It was something about like the arch of the foot.
Yeah, bro.
It was like some like weird like some stuff like that probably makes sense in science, but I don't know. It seemed kind of like fake-ish to me, but
well, bro, I mean, like I said, you can only have correlations. You can't have causation or proof. You know what I mean? It's basically going to say the odds of a person that runs like him getting injured. But you know what's so dumb about that kind of predicting is that like running backs get injured like crazy. You know, so it's pretty easy to say that a running back's going to get injured, but like Marshall Faulk ran like him. You know, he had a very successful career. Barry Sanders ran like him. He had a very successful career. Jahmyr Gibbs runs like him. Now, he does run a little bit different in terms of, like I've always said, like north, south, east, west versus Breece Hall's north, south. I mean, Breece can wiggle, and he can definitely like move side to side, make a couple cuts and go. He can do one cut, go, all the way down the field. Like he could cut 5, 6, 7 times. Very sharp cuts, very north and south, though. Kenneth Walker's very Marshall Faulk-esque like in that he runs east to west a lot and he gets out of trouble and runs really well. But I don't know, bro. People have been running that way for a century, you know? So it's kind of ridiculous. Even if he was to get hurt, doesn't mean the guy's proving it. Walker just might be injury prone or he might not be. I'm not saying he is. I think Walker will be fine. Like Walker has a groin injury. Like, you know, I have a torn calf. Like Joe Burrow has a torn calf. Aaron Rodgers had a calf injury that he no longer has anymore. You know, that's in the past, you know, and everyone was a little bit concerned about that when there was news that Rodgers was wearing a sleeve and he had a calf injury, and the calf injury went away. Like it was very minor. Now Joe Burrow's is more severe because he was hobbled and actually like, you know, hopping on one leg, but he did that in a way to not create any more damage. Like Joe's smart. It wasn't because he couldn't put any pressure on it. He just went, whoop, there it went. I'm going to hop over to the cart, get on the cart, have them massage that thing. I'm going to work on my contract, is what Joe Burrow said. And that's what he's been doing. He's sitting there working on his contract, but he is rehabbing it as we speak. Zach with a $10 hauler, all $10 haulers get a shot to the moon. Dynasty draft, I'm taking Fields at 1.6 and Waddle 2.5. My question is, who do I take at 3.6? My options are AR. This is a Superflex Dynasty draft. I'm taking Fields at 1.6. Okay, it's got to be a Dynasty draft. My options are Clusion's calling in here. Ron, where are you at, Ron? My options are AR, Devontae, or T. That can't be your only options, though, Zach. I mean, you got to give me more than that. Waddle at 2.5. My question is, who do I take at 3.6? I mean, is who else is available? There's got to be more options available than that. You just give me 3 guys. I mean, I love Devontae Smith. I just, you know, he's kind of a third round. He's kind of a top of round 3 or mid third round player in non-superflex. You know what I mean? So I don't know that I want to go Devontae Smith that early. I've gone Gibbs in round 4 in a superflex like clockwork. You know, that I can tell you that up front right here. But 3.6, I don't know. I'd have to know more names. You have to give me more names. I don't want to draft T. Higgins there. I don't draft T. Higgins there in a 1 QB. Like, I barely draft him at the top of round 3. So in a superflex, I'm not taking T. Higgins at 3.6. E-Rock. Zach,
what up, Smitty?
Zach, hit me with the list. Appreciate your super chat, Zach. I'm here to help you. I just need a bigger list or call in. E-Rock, what's up from Florida? My guy. How's it going in Florida?
Man, it's hot, bro. It's hot down here. But I just want to talk about this CMC is the GOAT, man. I feel like people forget last year that when Elijah Mitchell was healthy, it wasn't just a CMC show, man. Mitchell was getting goal line work. Mitchell was getting like 12 to 15 carries a game. And CMC didn't have those blow-up games until Mitchell went down for the second time. So, I mean, unless Mitchell gets hurt, and we hate to wish for injuries, I think people are getting real high hopes for CMC to have this 22 points per game average again. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, not only do I worry about, like, he's either going to be overfed and gets hurt, or he gets underfed and he disappoints. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel it's going to end up shaking out, because we saw this guy be an absolute disaster for 2 straight years. And everybody was ready to write him off as the running back 1 walking into last year. Everyone wrote him off. And just because he went to the San Francisco 49ers, where it is a very potent offense and he did well, they're just assuming, like, with disregard, like with almost like laughter at you if you don't think he's running back 1. Like, oh my, you take another running back over CMC? Like, I get it if you like him. I get it if you're wanting to take the risk, because the upside is certainly there. There's risk as well. There's risk as well, but there's no reason for someone to act like it's a bad choice to have a Bijan or someone over Christian McCaffrey. It's okay to have somebody have a differing opinion, The people that are crazy to me are the ones that have no ability to accept that somebody has Bijan running back 1 like we do. We do. That's the way it is. It's how I feel, and I'm not going to change my mind, and I'm certainly not going to be afraid to draft it. I'll trade down where I can, but if I'm in a best ball draft where you can't trade down, guess what? I'm taking him at number 3 overall, and I really don't care.
I've been on some platforms we're not going to mention, and I hear the argument, he hasn't done anything and CMC's done this, but people forget what Saquon and what Ezekiel Elliott did when they were drafted in the first round. I mean, literally, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the only first-round bust running back that didn't just go on the ball that I can think of in recent memory. I mean, even Breece Hall was going to be a top 3 running back, and he was a second-rounder last year. I just don't know how people don't see the upside with this guy Bijan. He was shaking cornerbacks at practice 2 days ago. He just looks like an alien, man.
Yeah, people are just, I don't know. People just don't want it. They're doubling down, bro. They're just doubling down on their bad take of Bijan can't be as good as everybody thinks. And now they're scared, and they're pissing in their pants because, it's going badly for him. Bijan looks amazing, and they're like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be wrong. I got to double down. Let's double down. Let's put more, good after bad. Smitty, best ball team so far: Bijan, Pollard, Ridley, Watson, and Lawrence. Thoughts? Chose Watson over London. I don't mind London over Watson or Watson over London. That's preference, my guy. Bijan, Pollard, Ridley, Watson. Fantastic. Lawrence, I would have got 1 pick later, though, because he's not really going in 5. He can go in 5, but he typically isn't. So, like, you could have squeezed in another, like a Walker and Lawrence in there, I think. Honestly, I'd try to run it back and try and get both. Okay, E-Rock, hang tight. Marsman Russian Collusion is on the line. Marsman Russian, what's up, my man?
Oh my God! You know what? It must be just the East Coast thing or something. That when you call in and you're a Marsman, you don't get no couth.
I don't get no what?
It must be you don't get no couth. You don't jump to the top of the line.
I know. I'm sorry. The phone line. I'm sorry. The phone line got.
I'm just kidding.
No, but I went right to you as soon as I saw you. I went right to you. I'm sorry. So Marsman Russian Collusion. No. He's got the Marsman card. There's only 11 of these out there, and he needs to jump to the front of the line when he calls in. So Marsman.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding, Smitty. I was golfing all night long, and I saw your backyard, and your backyard looks fucking. Excuse my language, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't normally do that. Looks amazing. Amazing.
They haven't finished it yet. I have a video here I can put up on screen of it as they're putting it in. It's complete right now. I just went out and checked it. It looks phenomenal. So this is a non-completed version of it. Let me throw it on screen. This is of them doing it, and so this is not completed yet. Let me find it.
Yeah, I saw the video earlier.
Yeah, here it is.
The video earlier.
Yeah, here it is
today, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, hold on, Russian. Let me play it real quick.
Yeah.
So there's no.
That looks amazing.
Yeah. And I know some people
you
don't.
You got a little fire pit there.
Not yet, but I'm gonna get there. I know a lot. Not everybody's into artificial turf, and that's okay. But so like I have.
But where you
here's
where you are, you got to have it, right?
Here's the basketball court. Here are the pavers. Then they even put grass trim. Let me slow the video down. They even put grass trim around the pre-existing. I built a gazebo or 2 pergolas with cement slabs, and I never finished them, so they're kind of like bare bones. But they even put like turf around, like just perfectly around both of those to accent them. I've got the pavers all around here. There's artificial turf here, and then there you can see them installing the golf course right there. But I have the basketball hoop that I installed when I first moved in, and I really didn't do anything to the yard but the slab and the hoop. It was just the slab and the hoop. And I just got infested with weeds. I can't do anything back there. And it's a great like secondary space to do live streaming, Ron, dial back in.
That's awesome.
Ron, I don't know if Ron got offended when I was like I put the show on hold for 2 minutes, but Ron, dial in. What order do you like Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, and A.J. Brown? In that exact order, Uncle Philly. In that exact order. And they're pretty close. I mean, they're all within like 2, 3, 4 picks. You know what I mean? Some of them are, you could even say they're back to back to back in some cases. But appreciate you, Alex, and appreciate all you guys. Look, that backyard's your backyard too. I mean, this is I'm literally reinvesting into the backyard for the show because we're gonna be back there quite a bit. And I'm excited about it.
Keep supporting them, boys and girls.
I feel like
Smitty, I did get in late here, so I see there's something in the top. It's to my left hand side, but probably you're right. I don't know what you're looking at, but it looks like a Detroit player.
Yeah,
what's that all about?
Jameson Williams, a ton of reps during preseason before his 6-game suspension. They're just saying he's getting fed a lot. He's looking good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And as far as Kupp goes, and Ridley and Kamara, I see that's probably the main focus tonight. And again, I'll rewatch the show and stuff. But first of all, Kupp, I'd never drafted him in any of my best balls or anything so far because the guy's had one good season, if you think about it, in his career. Why is everybody so hyped on it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
Ridley, he's coming back off, and I know you're high on Ridley, but I'm not. I want to see what he can do, and I know he's doing good in camp and everything. But to me, I'd rather go for somebody else than Ridley that's been proving themselves over the last few years. Kamara, I love Kamara because of where he's going. And I don't know if you've got new news on Kamara that he's going to be suspended for longer or not.
You got watch the beginning. Watch the beginning of the show, Collusion. Not that I don't want to recap you real quickly, but like we did all this,
no,
like
okay.
like 10 minutes a player. But the skinny is that Kamara met with the commissioner. There's no word. It feels like it's going to be 1 to 3 probably, if I had to guess. But there's no word. Definitely suspension is going to happen is what the vibe was. And that's probably what we're going to hear. But it could have been that it was like he may avoid one, but that wasn't the case. It's that he's going to get one. But 1 to 3, it's breach of peace to the letter of the law. The NFL may say, look, in a court of law, they didn't deem any worse than breach of peace. So how can we? But they're going to say, look, you were representing the NFL out there during the Pro Bowl, and you shouldn't have did that on the clock, essentially. That's what I would say. I would say you're suspended for the year because you were essentially wearing your uniform when you were walking around Vegas, in my opinion. That uniform may come off in a sense, but the imaginary one that you walk around with while you're representing the NFL during the Pro Bowl, wherever you're roaming around, is imagine if you were at a summit or some sort of conference for any of your jobs out there. And yeah, the summit or conference day one closes. The presenter says, go get dinner. We'll see you tomorrow. And they're like, go have a cocktail, go hang out in the hotel, and we'll reconvene tomorrow for day 2 of the presentation seminar. And while you were eating dinner, you did what Kamara did. You beat a man to the ground. Do you think your employer would say, well, technically you were off the clock? No, your employer would say, you were there at the conference representing our brand, and you beat a man into the ground. But the NFL doesn't think like that. The NFL's crazy. And so, but it doesn't matter because he's not going to get a big, long suspension. We already know that. But yeah, so go watch that to get a little bit more on the Ridley, the Kamara, and the Cooper Kupp because we touched on every one of them for about, I don't know, total of like 30 or 40 minutes. I got to get to these voicemails real quickly. Let me swing around the phone line and get everybody's final takes. Samuel from Atlanta, I haven't even gone to you yet. What's going on? What's popping, pal?
Hey, what's up, Smitty? Do I remember correctly, were you the one that said that Bijan would go in the first round when he wasn't going in the first round?
Bijan would go in the first round and he wasn't going in the first round. What do you mean?
Yeah, early in the summer, I feel like he wasn't going in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Smitty was the first guy to say it.
Yeah, you were the first to say it.
Just to close it out, Smitty was the first guy to say it.
I don't remember exactly what I honestly don't remember exactly what I said, but I did say you could take him just recently in the third round and steal him away. And you did that for a couple weeks.
Yeah, because I started watching this summer, and I remember you saying like, "Oh, he's going to go in the first round," and little by little, he went to the first round. So
little increments. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Even more so though, telling people to like we were sitting here going. In general, there are a few of us or a few people were concerned of the community, but in general, it's like this holdout's not going to last long. He feels insulted, but he's going to come around because he needs to make money. And what did he do? He came right around, folded like a chair, and I don't blame him. But he folded like a chair, and because he's banking on himself, and he's got to. And if he holds out, or you could say it's not even a holdout because he wasn't technically signed, but if he waits to sign and technically speaking holds out, it would lead to injury. He knows that. He's a smart guy. So he said, you know what? I'm going to get to work. I'm going to go prove myself, and I'm going to blast off in 2023. So I'm really excited we took Barkley in the Throne draft. We took him with the 1.9. If anybody missed it, we drafted live on the channel here. We drafted Barkley. We were contemplating Diggs or Barkley. For a lot of reasons. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about so-and-so? What about so-and-so? But the suggested rank has a lot of the guys that we like projected to fall to us. So we're going to take a little bit of a gamble, and if it doesn't pay off, that's okay. We'll still get some guys that we like. But by the way, somebody just bought a lifetime membership on the Fantasy Football Show. I think it was Thomas. Thomas just bought a lifetime membership. Thomas to the moon. Thomas, let's go. And if you guys want a membership at thefantasyfootballshow.com, content, bold predictions, text advice, you name it, trade calculators, redraft rankings, dynasty rankings, super rookie rankings, super flex rankings, dynasty super flex rankings galore, year-round rankings, not this, oh, Smitty, when is your draft kit coming out? I don't have a draft kit. I have a website that's 365. Draft kits are for people who gather something at the last second and try and provide you content before in the 11th hour. Okay, we're 365. There's no draft kit. It's always open. This is like Vegas. We're always open. Okay. Let's Samuel from Atlanta. What are your final thoughts? Because I gotta cycle everybody off the line here.
Would you do George Pickens as a moon man straight up for Calvin Ridley?
Pickens In a dynasty?
In a dynasty, yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably take Ridley. As much as I love Pickens, and I really do, I'd almost rather find another way to give up somebody else, but I love Ridley right now, and I do believe he has 2 to 3 years left. So to me, I play for 2 or 3 years in Dynasty. I don't play for 4 or 5. You play for 4 or 5, you play for second place. I think if you play for 4 or 5, you never win first. You just constantly win second, third, fourth place. You just got to go for it, man. And the fact is, no matter how secure your Dynasty League feels, all it takes is 2 guys that built crappy teams to jump, and then you try and replace them for a year or 2, and it just doesn't work, and then everybody wants to redraft or it just dismantle, and so play for 2 or 3 years. Ridley is worth it right now, in my opinion. I do love Pickens, but I take Ridley. It's a good question, though.
All right. Appreciate you.
All right, man. We'll see you later, Samuel. All right, Doc. What's up, Doc?
Nothing much, man. How's it going?
I'm good, bro. Just finished the yard, so I gotta get all that squared away, and that's why I'm gonna jump a little early tonight. Although it's not gonna be that early. I mean, we've been live for an hour and 35 minutes. Say somebody just got the lifetime content. I just shouted you out, Thomas. I just said Thomas just bought a lifetime membership. I didn't say specifics. I just said a guy named Thomas, and I didn't know if you wanted me to, say your last name or anything, but you came in and dropped it like it's hot. Thomas bought a lifetime membership. Already did a standing ovation for it, Thomas. If you rewind about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, Thomas, lifetime membership at thefantasyfootballshow.com. Appreciate you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc.
Oh no, man. I just got done leaving the gym, and I caught the tail end of your show again. But I just wanted to check in with you, man. And I thanks to you, I now know about Calvin Ridley. Not too worried about it. Looks like it's not too crazy, something minor, but we'll watch it.
No, there's word that it's his cleats, bro. Like his cleats were bothering him.
Yeah, something about his shoe was tight or something.
He's so fast, he's ripping off the soles of his shoes, and they're like, let's go ahead and, cement these bad boys on. In all honesty, it does not sound like he has an injury. It sounds more like, it's like, damn, I got to get new cleats. Like, I got to stop running. My foot's sore from this. My toe's sore. It's rubbing on my toe. So
why is that news? Why is that even news?
Because if a player walks off the field, like think of it this way, like in all defense of the scenario that we're talking about, where it's being reported, if Calvin Ridley is like looking at his foot and he's with the trainer and he starts limping off because he's like, let's rub on my toe when I run. And he's like, all right, let's get back into the training room. Like, what's everybody supposed to do? Holy shit! Why is Calvin looking at his toe? Why are they looking at his foot? They're looking at his shoe. But you don't know that. You're like, why is he looking at his foot? And they walked into the locker room. Like, we only have one as a news, as a part of the news world, and I do consider myself part of the news world. I digest it and spit it out, but I definitely feel like I, am a reporter in some sense. I did go to Cronkite ASU, one of the best journalism schools in the world. But I think. I think, what are you going to do? You got to make an assumption there that he's injured or something. So, like, if I was there in camp and I saw him looking at his foot walking off, I would be going live, going, guys, I don't know what's up. I'm going to find out. Hopefully he's okay. But Ridley was, like, looking at his foot. He was, like, bending his shoe. Maybe there's something. I wouldn't think, oh, his shoe's not fitting him. Like, I would think, oh, he's been running in these shoes for a while. How would he not know that this shoe fits him a wrong way? But he's been going so hardcore. You just see him cut. He looks decisive. He's knifing left and right, knifing through the defense. Just looks like he's in fast motion, like fast forward, while everybody's going in normal motion. It's crazy. So it makes sense that, like, if there was an issue with his cleat, that he'd be like, over the course of this week, just going full go on it, and everybody just watching this man give 110%. That you start feeling something if it was a little off. So I don't know. But yeah, no, the word is it's like a cleat issue. It's not even a toe issue. So we'll find out. But if there's more to it, if that caused the toe issue, if the cleat issue caused the toe issue, and there really is a toe issue, soreness, then we'll monitor it. But I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm almost a 0 concern.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Hey,
appreciate you, Smitty.
Yeah, appreciate you. Call in tomorrow. I might go live if there's breaking news tonight, but I'm probably going to be going live tomorrow during the day, and I'll be going live, of course, at 8 p.m., and then I'll go live in the evening. So most likely there'll be at least 1 video and 2 lives tomorrow, or 3 live streams tomorrow. Okay? So call in anytime.
Oh, man.
All right, later, Doc.
That. All right, talking to you, Smitty.
Later. Maddie, you haven't had a chance to talk yet, so I won't limit you to 10 seconds, but what do you got on your mind?
What are your thoughts on I got Debo in the 5th round, or the end of the 5th round, and then Kyle Pitts in the 6th round.
I don't mind that.
Draft.
I don't mind that at all. I am fading Kyle Pitts a little bit because, who's your quarterback?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, you're good there. Where'd Kenneth Walker go? Could you have taken Kenneth Walker instead of Kyle Pitts?
Well, the guy drafted Kenneth Walker end of the 3rd round.
Okay. Well, I guess what I would just say is that I love Okonkwo so much that I probably would have myself said, let me go Okonkwo Kincaid later and use this 6th rounder on somebody else or whatever. But that's just me. I mean, that's just my take. But I like your you can't get much better than what you did.
Is there a potentially trade Kyle Pitts for someone?
Yeah. You could go after. Name your team off real quick.
Joe Burrow, Gibbs, Kamara, Garrett Wilson, Amara, Pitts, Debo.
It's a good team. Let's see here. Let me look at a set of rankings here. So Kyle Pitts, ADP wise, and that's good. A good starting point. You go to ADP and you look at it and you say to yourself, okay, Kyle Pitts is ranking around 69 overall. So I'm going to go overall, see who's there at 69 and above 69. So you got JSN, that'd be a good player if you need a wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence if you need a quarterback, but you don't. Jahan Dotson's going 73. That's right next to him. George Pickens is a little bit later. DeAndre Swift is a little bit later than that. Javonte Williams, Isaiah Pacheco. Those are all players I love. But as I started to list those guys, you're maybe able to get more, instead of just throwing Kyle Pitts out there. You could go to the Okonkwo owner or Kincaid owner and say, give me Pitts and Javonte. I'm sorry, give me Okonkwo and Javonte. Give me Pacheco and Okonkwo. Give me Jahan Dotson and Okonkwo. So I would go to the Okonkwo and Kincaid owner and see what they have to throw at you for Kyle Pitts and do a 1 for 2.
What about besides the Okonkwo owner? Because my brother is the Okonkwo owner, and then he watches the same show.
Oh.
So I don't think he would.
Well, can you have him tune in right here at 1 minute and 42 seconds in? Okonkwo concerns me. He concerns me, Matty.
There's the.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'll say it one more time, and then we'll get back to reality. Okonkwo concerns me. 0. Anyway, Kincaid. So go to the Kincaid owner. See what the Kincaid owner has.
Okay.
All right.
And then what's Kincaid and who would you think?
Well, who's he have? That's what I'm saying. You just got to look at his team.
All right, I'll tell you right now. My brother also owns Kincaid.
Oh well, your brother's watching too much of the show. He's just gobbling up all the players.
I'll tell you his team right now. He has Hurts, Bijan, Breece Hall, Ridley, London, Okonkwo, Watson, Jets defense, and the Niners kicker.
Bro, in the Niners kicker, the Jets defense, Watson, Okonkwo, Ridley, Breece Hall, Bijan, Jalen Hurts, literally my entire Moon Man list over the last 2 years. He watches more of my show than you do. Oh, yeah. Wow. I don't know that you're going to be able to. I don't know that you can pry it.
On his bench, he has Swift, JSN, Pickens, Sky Moore, Kincaid, and then Tank Dell.
Yeah, I mean, can you get Kincaid and JSN for Kyle Pitts? I mean, you could tell him I had Kyle Pitts on my Moon Man list, and he's still on the Satellite Man list, but unless we took him off that.
Do you think that would be a good trade?
I think I think it's a great trade. I mean, Kincaid, he could be quiet. He could build quietly, and maybe you need to have a backup plan until Kincaid gets in there. But I love Kincaid. I think he starts balling out at some point, and then you get a guy like JSN who can immediately help you and be a potential, I think he could be a stud by midseason.
Yeah. I also had a question on Charbonnet. What is I drafted him, and then the next day, the news came out on him.
We don't know. Shoulder injury, but it doesn't sound as bad as, prior reports hinted they could. They didn't know for sure, but it sounds like him and Walker are both just a couple weeks. Make sure it's okay. That's it. It was a precautionary thing, but coaches lie. We heard Najee had a Liz Frank injury after he had healed. So we don't really know, but word is that they both are going to be okay. So continue to draft Charbonnet accordingly. Just get him a little later in future drafts. All right, Maddie, I got to run. Call in tonight if I go live, but I'll be live at least twice, but maybe 3 times tomorrow. Okay, Maddie?
All right, I'll watch your draft tonight.
All right, we're not drafting tonight, but yeah, not on Wednesdays. Going forward, I don't know if it's going to be this coming week, but you can always count on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's always locked in, but it's eventually going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I'm going to be off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. On the graveyard shift, I'm always live whenever news breaks, and I'm always live Monday through Fridays at 8 p.m., this show right here. So Monday through Friday, this show doesn't go anywhere. 8 p.m. every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever news breaks, and then eventually the graveyard streams at midnight or 1 a.m. will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That'll be probably next week or the week after. All right, see you, Maddie.
Yes, Smitty.
Okay, Russian collusion. Final thoughts. I don't know why Ron Navy didn't call back. I sounded a little offended that I didn't let you guys run loose on the show while I was outside for 2 minutes. It's kind of the vibe I got, but I gotta know what's going on. Hopefully Ron calls in before maybe he had a steak he had to grill. I don't know. Go ahead, Russian.
Last I looked, there was 270 people on here.
Yeah,
I think it's probably close to that now. This is a lot of people on here that need to understand that Smitty is 365. 365 days a year, this guy gives content that is the best content that you can get out there anywhere. There's people that are starting up with their content now that are months behind because Smitty looks at the rookies.
Thank you,
he looks
Russian.
at everything.
Thank you, Russian.
And you know what I mean? It's like people just don't even know that this guy's out there, and they need to know because I don't want to give it to the people that are in my leagues, but that's because I want to keep Smitty to myself.
But you could tell a random guy in a Raiders jersey in an elevator. You could go to there's so many opportunities throughout your entire day, every day, to be like, hey, because I mean, how does that hurt you? If more people that you don't play in leagues with know about it, the more we grow, the more we're gonna have autographed jerseys to give away. Like as I've grown, the opportunities for me to give back to you guys have grown, and that's 100,000% going to be the case every step we take. So if we're at let's say 50K this time next year, which is probably what the trajectory is because we grow about 2.4, 2.5 times per year. So if we're at 20K on September 1, which we'll easily be at because we're almost there right now, then we'll be at probably 50K on September 1 next year. And when we get to 50, if we were to get to like 70K instead of 50K through everybody just telling people and the crazy word of mouth, we'd probably have like 5-6 jerseys gifted to us from this potential, sponsor. It's like, hey man, just mention this on the show. I'll give you 6 Garrett Wilson autographed jerseys. Okay. Hey, just mention, like opportunities grow tremendously as you get bigger and have more reach. So I promise you, it's not a negative to have the show grow. It only helps you. We've gotten so much better over the last handful of years too, right? I mean, so the show gets better, the technology gets better, the reinvestment gets better. And the backyard, we're gonna be live streaming in the backyard with the basketball hoop and the golf course. I mean, it's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best.
Totally agree with all that stuff, Smitty. But you know what? There is not another show out there that has their viewers on live. You can call in if you have a conversation with Smitty and you're dead against his Bijan thoughts and his Wilson thoughts, and he's going to give you the opportunity to speak your mind and give you the opportunity to actually turn his mind, which doesn't happen very often, I'll tell you that much. But
True.
Because he has,
I'm a little stubborn.
You do your job. You do a lot of work. You look behind the scenes of everybody, and the best thing about you, Smitty, is that you are from rookie to pro all day long.
Attaboy.
You watch them through when they're rookies. You watch them, to get to the pro level, and you know that the difference between college and pro is so different. But you can actually take the value out of those people and make us better. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much for what you do. And fantasy football, that's what it is.
Appreciate you, Collusion. Appreciate you very much. Miss Smitty's asking for a screwdriver. So hold on one second. I got to look under here. I've got so many.
Hold on, Smitty, can I get her one? I got one right in my truck right now.
I wish I could. Let me just see. Here we go. Let me yell outside the. Hold on. Hey, you need a screwdriver? You still need one? You still need a screwdriver? I set one right by the door. All right. Hey, Russian, I'll see you later, pal.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Have a good night.
Later. I don't know where Ron Navy is. I'm giving Ron Navy a few minutes to call in here before I jump off. I got to hit the voicemails anyway, so let me get the voicemails covered. This is the voicemail crew here. If you want to be a voicemail leaver and subscribe on my Instagram for a mere $4.99 a month. That's half a cup of coffee, maybe a quarter cup of coffee at today's prices. For $4.99 a month, you can subscribe to my voicemail group where you can just leave voicemails daily if you want. And this one right here is from, who is this? Big Howard.
Hey, Smitty, my son's got number 2 pick in a redraft league, PPR 12-man league. He's the number 2 spot. What do you recommend?
Okay, this is 1.2, so let me put this on screen. And what's great about this voicemail group that you're in is in the group, it's an IG group, you can see the voicemail questions. Any of the chatting, the typing is you guys in the group bouncing stuff off each other, and you got a great community you can lean on that's here paying $4.99 also. So they're very serious about the same thing you're after, advice. So it's like a great community. And with the $4.99 a month, it weeds out any kind of crazy, because everybody's paying, small amount, but like they're paying for the service, so they're taking it very seriously. And the great part about it is I leave a voicemail in here. So this is for Big Howard. You don't have to go hunting through the show. Big Howard, this is Smitty at 1 hour and 52 minutes and 54 seconds in. I'm answering your question if you want to go watch it. The 1.2, it's easy for me because Jamar Chase in a PPR 3 wide receiver league, he's my pick. I don't concerns about Burrow. I draft Burrow. I draft Fields. You can even, if it's not best ball, you could even draft Fields and Jamar Chase together. You don't have to stack it. There's no true crazy advantage if you still believe in Fields being is equivalent to Burrow and you want to lay off some risk with the Cav or whatever. I don't blame you. But JJ goes 1 about 90% of the time, 80% of the time. Chase is there. If it's a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver in a flex, or a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, I would go Bijan, even if it was PPR. So the lineup requirements matter. If running back heavy is a need and everyone's going to scoop up RBs, then I wouldn't object to Bijan number 2 overall. So it's Jamar Chase or Bijan. So that's for Big Howard. I'm going to tag him here. And that way, Big Howard. So that's him. Okay, this is how I reply to these. So I play it. And Mason.
Just got offered a trade here in a dynasty league. Was wondering what you think. I would be giving away Najee, A-Chain, and Tyler Scott. And I would be receiving Pickens, Pacheco, and a 2024 second rounder. This is Dynasty Superflex. Pacheco, and I would be receiving Pickens, Pacheco, and a 2024 second rounder. This is Dynasty Superflex. Najee, A-Chain, and Tyler Scott.
Okay, that's a great question. Mason, I'm answering this question on the show if you want to rewatch it at 1 hour and 54 minutes and 44 seconds in. I'm going to say that, man, Pacheco and Pickens is a lot of value. Najee's good, though. Much would depend on your team need. You know, Pacheco could be good enough to like rival Najee. I think I'd rather have Najee 10 times out of 10, but it would be good enough to rival, and then you get Pickens as well. I'm gonna lean Najee. I mean, A-Chain's very valuable as well. Maybe you could even trade A-Chain and some seconds for Pickens, and then you don't have to go the running back swap. I lean Najee. I don't like that at the end of the day, but I don't mind going after Pickens, and I love A-Chain. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no on the if you're trading away Najee. No, thank you. All right, that was Mason. Mason, appreciate you. And I think I got one more today. It's not a super slow day on the text line, so this is great. Like you can get your question answered sometimes very easily. David.
Hey, Smitty, I'm in a 10-man PPR league. I got the 101. I'm thinking about taking Jefferson at the first pick. Just curious to see if I should go with the elite quarterback early, round 3 or 2. I just want to know your opinion on if I should do that strategy or not.
All right, my guy, I'm answering this question 1 hour and 56 minutes and 17 seconds in. So if you want to rewatch it on the show, go to that point in the video. I'm going Jamar Chase 1.1. If it's a 3 wide receiver PPR, I'm going Jamar Chase. That's just who I want. I think he's a 15 to 17 to 18 touchdown guy this year, but that's me. You can't go wrong with JJ or Chase if it's a PPR 3 wide receiver. If it's a half PPR 3 wide receiver, same concept. I'm going one of the two, but I'm taking Jamar Chase, who has more touchdown upside in my opinion, and just a better potential offense. You know, I know Cousins did really well last year. I get it. I think if it's a 2 running back, like I said earlier on the show, there's another question about the 1.2. If it's a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, even if it's PPR, I'm going Bijan. I'm going Bijan over JJ and Chase if it's a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver. As far as quarterback, bro, there's no set plan. You got to go with the flow. You can't cement in a strategy. You cement in a strategy, you're going to leave value on the table. 3rd round quarterback, if Hurts falls to the 3rd round, Mahomes, Allen, sure, I don't mind that at all. But do I think that this is something that you've got to force? No, I'd rather take Fields in round 5 than those guys. All right, and that was those questions were from David, I think it was. Let me tag him. What's up, Steven?
What's going on, Mr. Smitty?
What's up?
Wanted to ask you about Jackson Smith-Jigba.
Yep.
In that Seattle offense. I was like, to me, what I'm saying is Seattle and Jacksonville are being a little bit underrated. I think there's a value there. I did a draft earlier today where I got Calvin Ridley and I think it was the fifth or early 6th. I was drafting like 8th or something like that, and I took Trevor Lawrence and stacked him. And then you can get Kirk like 3 or 4 rounds later. Is that any sort of an advantage that if everything works out that we could exploit?
Well, Kirk's going around. Is he going around 5? It depends on where you're drafting, but Kirk's going too high for me. I'd rather take Ridley in the 3rd round than Kirk in the 4th round, but that's just me. But I don't like to stack multiple players. Like, I don't mind doing like Ingram and Ridley and T-Law, because I feel like they all have certain roles carved out. I don't know that I would go Kirk and Ridley and T-Law in a redraft. In a best ball, sure. But in a redraft, I would not, or a dynasty or a redraft, a non-best ball, I would not. I would not want both wide receivers.
I had very good success a couple of years, last year and the year before, even though it fell apart late, was having Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert. And it sort of stacked the points, especially when you have a pass-catching running back. And ETN and Lawrence, to me, would be an interesting stack. I mean, look, if somebody gets hurt, all bets are off. But it's just like we talk about, one of those bets that could you either hit a home run or you strike out.
Brandon, are you here? Brandon Frederick, I'm sorry, bro. I don't know how this one slipped past me. The super chat here. I mean, Steven, I love JSN. I love JSN. I love him. But he's got to be my third wide receiver, or I go really heavy running back, quarterback, tight end, and I'm like coming back around to get my wide receivers, and I take him as my second wide receiver. I love him as my second wide receiver in that kind of build. Brandon says 14 team, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, 1 tight end. Am I crazy for considering Bijan at 1 overall? I think, Brandon, you've heard me pretty much paint that picture on the last couple questions, right? On the Instagram questions. I'd take him at 1.1 if it's a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and a flex where you could start 3 RBs, and it's PPR even. I love him in PPR. I would take Bijan 1 overall. I wouldn't hesitate. However, doesn't mean I wouldn't go chase still. Like, I could consider it. In best ball, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, and a flex. I've been going chase at 1. One reason I go chase him 1 in best ball every time, if I get the 1 or 2 pick, I'm going chase over Bijan every single time in best ball, underdog fantasy, promo code Smitty. And you might ask yourself, well, wait a minute. That sounds a little bit like double talk. It's not, because I do so many drafts. I need to take chase when I get the opportunity, because I'm rarely going to get the 1 or 2 overall pick. And so I'm never going to run out of opportunities to get Bijan. I get the 2nd or the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th overall pick all the time. And I'm getting Bijan in about 90% of those cases. So I'm getting oversaturated with Bijan to my liking. I have no need to force Chase out of that equation and to start taking Bijan where I'm taking Chase. So that's why. If I only played 1 best ball draft, if you gave me $5 or $25, if Miss Smitty says you can't do underdog, 1 $25 mania draft, Smitty, I would literally get 1 draft, and if I had 1 draft and I got the 2 pick, I'd take Bijan. So that just explaining why I never take Bijan at 1 or 2 overall in a best ball underdog fantasy promo code Smitty, because I'm taking him at every single other pick. And I need some variation, and I want some Jamar Chase teams, and I'm rarely going to get the opportunity. So, in the case of your hometown league, Bijan's not crazy. And Brandon, are you still here, bro? I'm hoping Brandon's still watching. I'm sorry, Brandon. You're going to make my night if you're still here. Brandon, I don't see him yet. Brandon, please let me know if you're still here. Steven, any final thoughts? Because I got to get off here. It's been a 2-hour show already. And I planned on making it an hour and a half because I had some yard stuff I got to do. Final thoughts, Steven?
Love yourself. Love your family. Take care of yourselves. We'll holler at you.
All right, Steven. Appreciate you. Okay, Kincaid will be on waivers, says my opinion. What? Kincaid will be on waivers. What's that mean? On waivers, like he's going to be dropped? He's going to be dropped?
You've just been Smitty approved. You've just been Smitty disapproved.
I did not mean to approve him. In fact, let's send him on a lap. My opinion, Kincaid will be on waivers? I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I sent you on a lap and I shouldn't have. That would be amazing. This question right here. Hey, J-Rob, are you still here? J-Rob says, Smitty, sad face. I miss watching the live stream, bro. Ever since you moved to 8 p.m., I can never catch the stream anymore. Well, I'm live for like 2 or 3 hours, though. You know, like I dipped into this time frame anyway. You know, so like if you either watched the first hour live and then had to bail, or you're still catching the show. But I'm sorry the time moved. I would say about 90% of the people love it. And the views are popping a little more than normal, probably because we're getting into August as well. So to be fair, it's August 2nd. Like, it's hard to measure. But so far, 90% of everybody's excited about the 8 p.m. move. So I'm sorry, J-Rob. I do appreciate you. And the good news is they're always available to rewatch. So, Rock Out, what is up, my guy?
Not much. What do you think? I know you don't like Adams, but what's like the highest ceiling you think he would get?
Adams, I don't know. I would trade him for Debo, like in something. I would try and get more. I'd trade him for Ridley. Like if push came to shove in a vacuum and I couldn't get more, I will want to get into a Ridley over an Adams. Give me Ridley, but I can get more. I can get more, which is great. I'm going to exploit that. I just want everybody to know I'm going to exploit that. I'm not going to trade Adams for Ridley straight up if I don't need to. I'm going to take full advantage of that. And we got what's my opinion? You got a lot of opinions tonight. Kincaid is available in 3 leagues for free. Well, I can't help that you're playing with your grandma and your Uncle Buck. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like I can't. How do I control that? Kincaid's going at he's tight end. Where's he going? Tight end 12, bro. Tight end 12. On Underdog Fantasy, he's tight end 12. You're telling me you draft in a league where not everybody drafts a tight end? Is that true, my opinion? Maybe you don't have tight ends. Maybe in your league, they're all wide receivers or something, and that's why. I don't know. But he's tight end 12. So I don't understand how he's free in your league unless you play in an 8-man league with grandmas and Uncle Buck and Mildred, Aunt Mildred, and Uncle Billy, who's literally falling off his couch right now trying to draft because he's plastered. He doesn't know who's who. He doesn't even know he's in the league anymore. He auto-drafted his entire team. I can't help that, my opinion. He's number 12 out of all tight ends. How can he be in your waiver wire, bro? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, forgot Uncle John, too.
Yeah. I don't know where Ron went. Let me send him a message.
Where'd he go?
Ron, you coming back? We're waiting for you. Congrats on the 200 plus likes on the show. Great show tonight. You're at 217. Good job, Terry. And Sick Nasty. Can we give Sick Nasty and who was the other mod that we added last night? God, my mind is thrashed. We added 2 mods last night, Rock Out. Who was the other one? Remember? It was Sick Nasty and Sick Nasty. Tell me who was it? Why am I blanking?
Sick Nasty and
Sick Nasty, remind me who the other mod was. I'm blanking out for some reason. I'm sorry. Poor guy. He's like,
Ron would know.
He's like, I'm working hard, Smitty. You don't remember? Oh, yeah. Ron. Maybe Ron had something pressing business. I don't know, but he didn't like that I didn't leave the show open for two and a half minutes. He wasn't like Ron felt like. I think Ron felt like he should have been handed the keys to that. But the problem is I had other people on the phone line. And so I can't leave the phone line just sitting there running my show. I got multiple people on it. Terry, my guy, Vampy. What am I doing? Of course it's Vampy. Vamp, why didn't I remember? Yeah. God, Vamp.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sick Nasty and Vampy. Vampy's so reliable. Vamp, I'm sorry. You know my mind. My mind's going 1,000 different directions. I can't even remember what day it is. It's Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday. Vampy's been with me for a long time. Sick Nasty's been with me for a long time. Vampy got me into Disney. And here I am forgetting he's a mod. Appreciate you. Let's give a standing ovation to our new mods, Vampy and Sick Nasty. They do a great job. And Travis Rowe is Russian. I think Russian Collusion is a mod. I forget if I made him a mod. Terry Roberts. Travis, all my other mods, appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
Come on, Terry, train him right.
Mm-hmm. Train him right, training. Terry, don't show him how to put everybody in 300 second timeout. Sometimes Terry gets Terry's strict. Terry would put me in timeout if he could. I think once in a while.
Shit.
Yeah, he might put me. I might not be able to even comment for 300 seconds on my own show if Terry had control of that. Young, I twiddle my thumbs for an extra hour now. Waiting for 8 p.m. I got you, bro. I'm sorry, but I do have other shows. Vampy is my man. That boy says Vampy and Sick Nasty are goats. Big Dog 2. Is Big Dog in here? Big Dog, my mod, Big Dog. Big Dog, where you been? I feel like Big Dog hasn't been here for a while. Big Dog's been a mod for a while. Thank you. Vampy to the moon. Let's give Vampy a moon shot.
To the moon.
My boy. I feel so bad. I can't remember anything right now. All right, rock out. I'll see you later. I was waiting for Ron Navy, but he ain't coming back, I don't think. I think he's mad at me.
One more question.
I think he is. I don't know. Maybe something came up. What's up?
What are you doing with that other channel you started?
That other what?
The other sports channel you started.
Oh, I hate to try things and then not follow through, but sometimes you got to try them. But I just don't want to take away from this. Like the Dynasty channel, I got to get back to. Good God. And that's not going away. The Dynasty channel isn't something I tried and I'm going to not do. I'm for sure. I promise you that I will get in a groove on that. I'm hoping it doesn't take me another month or so to get situated. But the Dynasty channel, this channel, and then, Instagram and Threads and Twitter are basically my focal points. But I'm not stepping away from the Dynasty channel whatsoever. That's going to get ramped up. I got to start ramping up now. I really do. More cowbell. That's right. But I don't know that I'll do the other sports general channel. I just don't have time. It's going to take away from something that's important, so I can't right now.
A lot.
All right. Hey, rock out. I got to run right now. I'll see you later if there's breaking news. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do at least 2 live streams, maybe 3 tomorrow. So I'll see you there.
All right. Take care.
All right. Later. Young, make sure you're on top of that. Tomorrow, maybe 3 live streams, at least 2. All right, broski. We got the 8 p.m. show and then the drafting. We're drafting at 1 a.m. Eastern or maybe midnight. I might do it a little early tomorrow. But then if news breaks, we're live again. That boy says Debo Dotson for Wilson. Debo and Dotson for Wilson. Seems like too much for me, but it's a really, really close one. Blake says in a 10-man league, full PPR, who should I try and pick up at the 10 spot for the first couple of rounds? I'll probably say, Blake, thank you for the super chat. I'd probably say, bro, we took Barkley in the Throne League. I think Garrett Wilson's a fantastic pick. So you go Barkley, Garrett Wilson. You could go Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson. That would be phenomenal as well. But Barkley and one of those wide receivers would be great. If Bijan's there, of course you take him. And I personally would take Garrett Wilson there if I had to, but you could get away with trying to let him fall. That's kind of the objective, right? That's what you're trying to do. And that's maybe what we're trying to do as well. Posible. I've been talking Spanish all week. I literally am thinking in Spanish right now because of all the yard stuff. I've been talking to all the boys out and back, all my compadres that have been just doing amazing work. These guys in the backyard, and my Spanish is getting back on point. I'm back to speaking the Espanol, and I'm even thinking Espanol. Like I'm sitting there going, ¿Qué necesito aquí? Wait a minute. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm just thinking in Spanish all of a sudden. I've been talking it all week. I'm sunburned like crazy. Look at the sunburn. I'm sunburned like crazy. I've been outside constantly. I've taken like 5 showers a day because it's like 115 degrees here in Arizona. It's extremely hot. Did Brandon never come back? Brandon, appreciate you, Young. Appreciate you, that boy. Appreciate you, Uncle Philly. Thank you, Blake. Brandon never commented again. He dropped a super chat, and then I didn't get to it quick enough, I think. Deckard, thank you. Marco Silva, Andrew Silva, the Silva brothers, Thomas, that boy with a couple supers. Runner boy, appreciate you. Ian, Tommy, appreciate you. Just Sherman, appreciate you. Steve B, Owen, Runner boy again. Cam, Uncle Philly, Brandon, Blake, that boy, and Young. And again, Brandon, if you're watching right now, am I crazy to consider Bijan at 1 overall? Of course you're not, because he's my number 1 running back overall. So it just depends on if you want JJ or Chase and you want that PPR potential and it's a 3 wide receiver league. But if it's a 2 wide receiver league, 2 running back and a flex, and even PPR or point PPR or half PPR, I'm going Bijan at number 1 without hesitation, really. So let's ride. All right, guys, get Dalton Kincaided. Absolute monster in the making. Don't forget the show is permanently now, the night show anyways, the evening show is permanently 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's ride. Smitty habla español. Yo necesito mucho practicar, Melvin, but yes, I've been talking a little español all week. Took a lot of it in college, but it's definitely faded, but I've been talking all week and definitely refreshing my memory. Very, very much. Appreciate you, Melvin. Appreciate you, Sick Nasty. Appreciate all my mods. Terry Roberts. Vampy to the moon. Big Dog. Travis Rowe. All my mods. See you all later. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
Not so fast. Tucker dropped a super chat, and we haven't quite ended the show yet. Tucker, just in the nick of time. Rate my draft, please, brother. 12-team, $555 entry. Best ball. Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Carr. Okay. So 12-team, Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Carr. Henry, Najee, Pacheco, Cook, Chase, Devontae Smith, Godwin, Evans, Kincaid, Okonkwo. That's really good, bro. Burrow, A-Rod, yeah, you got good quarterbacks, 1 QB league, I assume. Henry, Najee, Pacheco, very, very solid running attack and stable. If this is the weeklies, I like it even more because of Henry and Najee and, the potential of Mike Evans in certain weeks. Like, it feels like you got a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? A lot of power. It looks like I'm wearing Tucker's face. Let me move this over. A lot of power to pop in a week. But if it's the long term, it's still good. I still like it, Tucker. I still appreciate your super chat. I still appreciate your team. And that's a pretty fire squad. I like it. I think I easily could see that team being like a winner if Henry can stay healthy all year. So I like it more on a weekly, but I absolutely like it. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
And now we're out. Thank you, my guy.
The Four Horsemen. Drafting Chase in round 1. Hall in 2. Burrow in 3. London in 4. Try Gibbs in 3. Burrow in 4. Wilson in 2. No problem. Combinations of these monsters will give your league mates nightmares, especially Bijan 1. Alavi 2. Burrow 3. And Gibbs 4. Don't lie. You just made an oopsie in your pants, didn't you? Ride for horses at the same time. The Four Horsemen.
Don't forget this Four Horsemen can be altered, and now Joe Burrow is riding in the 6th and 7th round. So the Four Horsemen just became the 3 horsemen and a side horse that literally should be up with the big boys but isn't. So Four Horsemen is even better than ever. See y'all later. Terry Roberts says, I want one more minute, Smitty. One more minute, Smitty. He says, here for your hard work. Thank you, Terry Roberts. Whenever Terry Roberts gives me a super chat, I picture him going like this. Okay? He says, here, take it. Take it for your hard work. Just crumbling it up and throwing it at me. And I'm like, thank you, Terry. Can I have another? Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you. Terry is the hard worker in the room, not me. All right, now I'm out of here. And on that note, I'm going to give you a get breached, and then we're gone.
Get breached.